Okay, so the question is being asked, how do you save Mortal Kombat 1? This might take a little bit of time for us to dissect, okay? The damage has been done. And when I say the damage has been done, I want to just take a look at something that's very, very important in all games. What makes a video game fun? A lot of us right now are so distracted by so many things, right? There's killer video games like, let's say, GTA 6 coming down the pipeline. We have Call of Duty that's active right now. In a couple of days, we're going to have something called Marvel Heroes or something like that. My son is so excited about it. He's like, they're going to give us a ton of characters for free, and then they're probably going to make money off of us, understandably, with a season pass and maybe some very over-the-top skins that means a lot to the fan base. And that's understandable because the game is free. But what makes the game something that you want to come back to it every day and something that you want to keep playing? In case of Mortal Kombat, it's very hard for you to say, hey, everybody, whether you're casual or you're a professional pro player, or you're somebody that likes to stream all the time, so this is a source of income for you, jump into Combat League. That's the fun that you're going to have. Well, right there, most casuals are going to say, we're done. We don't want to play this game anymore, including myself, because I'm a casual. And there's a lot of other stuff that's distracting us in the real world. Different games, TV programs, our favorite YouTuber, whatever documentary you like. And you just learn to move on from something that you like. So how do you go by fixing it? I want to start in the beginning by saying, do not abandon the game. That's going to be the biggest mistake that you're going to make. If you abandon the game right now, just like you abandoned Mortal Kombat 11, most of the people, like myself, will never give you a second look when you come up with a new game, whether it's Injustice or Mortal Kombat. So you sold me on the game. I bought the premium edition and I saw all the shortcomings. I've learned my lesson. I never bought your DLC. I figured, you know what? With what you've given me, I'm not going to spend money on the DLC. And that's why you're in this position right now. So if you give up on the game and you make everybody that bought the game feel that you've abandoned them this early when you promised, let's be real here, you promised that you're going to support this game a lot longer than you supported others. A statement that you made on Mortal Kombat 11, and we all know it was fake or maybe something out of your hand. Why abandon the games and jump over to the next one if you can just put at least a small team, a very small team, to maintain these two games? And yes, do move on to the next one, but do not kill these games. So, two ideas. One, you have Jean-Claude Van Damme in Mortal Kombat 1, which doesn't make any sense. He has 4 skins and he doesn't belong between this roster. He belonged in the previous game, Mortal Kombat 11. Well, why not take some of the DLC that makes complete sense and put it in that game? Example, Jean-Claude Van Damme. You have Conan coming up. Conan belonged in Mortal Kombat 11, not in MK1. A lot of people are not happy with that. The T-1000 doesn't belong in MK1, belongs in MK11. I'm not telling you to just go back and support MK11. I'm saying you have a game that sold 15 million copies. You can use the licenses that you have right now and release it on MK1 and MK11 for a decent price. Not the price that you did the DLC with the Chaos Reign, and we all know how that ended up. So you give the player something that they want to chase. Good skins, something that's from the library that we all like. You've built a killer library over the years. Why give us very mediocre designs in order for us to keep chasing it in a very bad grind in the invasion mode that you came up with? One of the main reasons why your Mortal Kombat 1 has failed from the beginning. I draw your attention, we're not going to jump into the females right away because we don't want this to be looked at as, oh, guys like to look at stuff, specific stuff when they're using fighting games. That doesn't make any sense. No, we're going to start with a very common character, Sub-Zero. And take a look at the skins that you had on Sub-Zero when this game got released. What is this skin right here? What is that? I do not have this skin equipped on any of the characters that I use in the game. And it's something that you keep rewarding me when I'm doing invasion or doing towers. And I look at it and I'm like, I just wasted 15 minutes, 20 minutes doing a tower. And this is the reward that I get. It doesn't make any sense. So that's Sub-Zero. Okay? Let's go back to your older design of Sub-Zero that you put in Mortal Kombat 11. Look at that. You have a ninja right there. That is a ninja that we're used to since you've built this game and everybody has grown to like. You have multiple outfits that looks like that. So it's not just one, it's more than one. My son, who's in his late teens at the time when you released MK11, looked at that Sub-Zero and said, oh, that guy looks like Shredder. And I'm like, okay, maybe I don't see it, but yeah, the helmet does look like Shredder and we can relate and all that fun stuff. But this new design that he came with is really, really ugly. And I'm sorry to say that. Whoever came up with that design, this is not the Sub-Zero that we like. Now, let's move on to the more important thing, and that is something that is nice to look at. Your audience are all male audience. So obviously, they're going to fight a lot when it comes to female characters and what they look like in the game. And that is nothing bad. You've built a good brand with good characters that a lot of people like to see. So I'm going to say Sindel, right? The queen of mean. Well, if you look at the design that you guys gave her in this game, it's horrible. It is horrible. What is she wearing? It's almost like somebody went, took some curtains down, folded it, and threw it on the character. Why did you make her look like that? Not to mention that she looks very close to Li Mei, so you didn't even take the design team. You know what I mean? Like, just do some design. Like, make something with love. Don't just copy and paste. It doesn't look good. Looks aside, let's go back to your MK11. Look at that Sindel. That Sindel is dressed to kill. Dressed to kill. And whether some people are going to start complaining and saying there's no people that fight like that, well, other games are looking like that. Street Fighter looks like that. Tekken looks like that. You need to go back to something that made the players fall in love with your characters and release it to the player as a reward. Now let's backtrack a little bit and talk about loving to play the game. In MK11, you had lightning in a bottle when it comes to attacking the computer with two players, and you had the player able to switch. So I was playing this with my son and also a friend that I had in the UK, and we were laughing our ass off. We were laughing so much because the computer is strong, and it was nice to tag in a friend and see them struggle against the computer, and then they tag you in before they die because they want to beat that computer. So that was nice. But if you really want to think to yourself, how do I save MK11? Make a mode like that. Now, it doesn't have to be against the computer. It could be a real good player versus two casual players like myself and a friend. It could be three casual people playing. It could be so many things. Like, you can play with that mode in so many different ways. I'd love to see a mode like that. You got to take the cameos out. You got to take them out because they're dragging the game down, that when someone is making a combo and the combo is unsafe, the casual person is thinking to themselves, hey, I learned that combo is unsafe. I'm going to go attack. And then next thing you know, the cameo is making them safe. They eat the move into now a full combo that's going to probably take around 8 seconds to 10 seconds for the casual player to sit like this and say, oh my God, why am I playing this game for? So I do like the cameo system, but I think the way it was implemented to keep the characters safe is not something that has made this game shine. You could have made it shine in having no cameos and letting somebody tag another person in, and that person comes in and they are fighting a real person, not a computer. This whole thing with the computer and the modifiers that you keep adding, I rather you give the computer 2 lives in 1 round than giving him a modifier that when I'm hitting him, he's able to grab me and just throw me across the screen. It just takes away the fun out of Mortal Kombat. This is not the Mortal Kombat that we all fell in love with. In closing, I would like to say this. The game does so many things right. You have a killer roster when it comes from your library. not the guest characters. As we established, the guest characters belong in a different game. I think as you grow the guest characters list here, maybe you can bring in the Predator again, bring in Leatherface. It seems more of a fit for this game, more than action heroes like Jean-Claude Van Damme, and growing the library with characters that we all grew to love in the Mortal Kombat universe. You're so close now. You have all the male ninjas in here, and I had no doubt in my mind the game will have all the female ninjas before it's over. So we're very close to it now. You're about to bring in Cassie, I hear, Jade, hopefully a main character, not as a cameo. A lot of people will be very disappointed. We want all the male and female ninjas to be playable. Tremor is a cameo, and maybe a lot of people got disappointed at the time. Who's to say you can't bring him as a full character, right? You can do something like that, make a lot of people happy to see all the ninjas in the game, and this Mortal Kombat will be something to remember. What else does it do right? The game has air combos that when the first time I did them, I was laughing on the inside. And those are the best moments in gaming. When you do something and you're like, this is so badass. This wasn't available in MK11. I couldn't juggle people in the air. And that was something really nice. The only mistake you made with that was putting in the cameos, extending these juggles, that the combo becomes a little bit tedious for the person who's waiting on the other side to get a chance to, you know, make their move. So all in all, an amazing game. I love it. I think it would be a fatal mistake. Honestly, it would be a fatal mistake to give up on it and leave your fans without nothing when it comes to the MK universe. And with GTA 6 around the corner, I just don't see many coming back to you when you announce the next game. A lot of people are just gonna remember what you did here. You bailed on it too early like you did with MK11, and they're just gonna stick with GTA 6, Call of Duty that's active already right now, and just they're gonna move on. This video didn't cover anything. There's so many other ideas. There's so many other ideas. If there's one thing I could leave you with at the end, make the game fun. If you don't like to sit down yourself and play your own game because you think it's a grind, then you shouldn't be doing it to the player because they actually paid for it. They're not getting it for free. I hope it doesn't come across too harsh. It's reality and people move on. And I'm sure your team is gonna move on from this. Either take the advice, go and support this game, and maybe MK11, make that money on 15 million copies that's sold with DLC that's reasonable in price, or you're gonna go ahead and just listen to the big heads upstairs, kill the game, and face the consequences. Adios, amigo.